Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and dear Africa Tech Festival participants. It's a great pleasure for me to be here and to be given the opportunity to highlight some of the digitization trends that we've seen across Africa the past couple of years. And also how ubiquitous connectivity, we believe, will be offering a lot of limitless possibilities across the continent. I think we heard some examples of what has transpired from James, but I will be focusing more on the trends that we see in the mobility network in particular. And in fact, during these past couple of years, we've seen a very rapid uptake of 4G across multiple markets. In fact, when we look at the numbers, we see that in Sub-Sahara alone, the 4G subscriptions grew by a whopping 26%. And we see this growth now continuing throughout 2022 unabated. And today, we are so proud to see that upwards 20% of all mobile subscriptions are actually equaling to 4G, which basically would be some 200 million 4G subscriptions already. Now, we all know that the most important enablers for 4G to accelerate is smartphone availability and smartphone affordability. We've seen today the 4G devices grow in number of between 2 to 3.5 times in the past 3 years alone. In some countries, we see that actually there are more 4G devices in the networks today than 3G ones. Of course, lower prices of the devices, combined with sales of refurbished devices, as well as very innovative and new financing models that have been offered by the operators, the CSPs. All of this together is having a very positive impact in terms of accelerating the adoption. Now, to better serve this 4G uptake, we as vendors, we have to introduce the right technologies and the right solutions so we can allow for a sustainable investment in such 4G networks. So we are very proud of introducing the latest radio, which has been developed specifically for the needs of our customers here in Africa. By offering 3 sectors and 2 bands in one single hardware, we can actually do the job of 6 legacy radios only in one box today. This means a lot of OpEx as well as energy savings. Basically, the consumption of power is minimized by 50% and reducing, obviously, of the weight of the number of boxes you need to place on the towers. So we have now deployed this radio already with around 30 customers in 20 markets across Africa. And this is contributing to the 4G availability and also paving the way for eventual 5G launches. Now, another enabler which will accelerate the 4G adoption is regulatory initiatives to make more spectrum available for key markets. Now, we all know that this is the foundation, really, of the telecoms industry. And some of the markets are today already considering such initiatives. Here in South Africa is a good example because earlier this year we saw the Independent Communications Authority of South Africa auctioning 14.4 billion rand worth of spectrum in initial phase, and now is planning to license additional spectrum in order to meet the continuous demand for capacity growth. So we really encourage regulators to continue making spectrum available under terms that are both affordable and relevant for the optimal deployment of connectivity. We also see that 4G is a key to drive innovation. With high-speed mobile broadbands up and running, consumers and businesses will now gain access to a plethora of different services for entertainment as well as productivity measures. We see this happening in the countries now where 4G is already widely available. African entrepreneurs have already been launching super applications like the ride-hailing services, Little, or video streaming services such as iRocco TV and Showmax. And they are competing against global alternatives. And this shows, again, how 4G serves as a great platform to promote local innovation. We also know that mobile technology has the potential to create good societal effects. And at Ericsson, we are contributing by sharing our knowledge not only with our customers, but also through partnerships with organizations such as Smart Africa, as well as UNICEF. As one example, we have a partnership with Smart Africa Digital Academy, where we are providing technology training for regulators and policymakers for a digital future. And in our partnership with UNICEF, which we are very proud of, it is what we call the GIGA initiatives, whereby we are using our technology and our experts and data to help UNICEF to map school connectivity all over the world. In fact, we have provided data science now to map network coverage for almost 500,000 schools across 34 countries, out of which 11 are located here in Africa. Now, mapping school connectivity is actually the first and most fundamental step in order to bring schools, and more importantly, to bring their students and teachers online and enable them to have a digital curriculum. And this is a vital step for digital inclusion as we see it. Now, in parallel with this strong 4G growth, we also see 5G starting to happen in certain pockets. In the upcoming Ericsson Mobility Report that we are releasing, we project that 5G connections will constitute around 14% of all types of subscriptions by 2028 in sub-Saharan Africa. That's a very big number, and it's going faster, predicted to go faster than the adoption of 4G. Now, of course, we are very, very still early in the 5G journey in Africa, and we need the technology to mature, specifically from a device ecosystem perspective. But we already have seen cases on the enterprise, primarily, of how we can bring in augmented reality and virtual reality to improve productivity and lower costs and help sustainability as well. Now, these type of use cases will require, of course, the high throughput and the low latency of 5G. And you're welcome to see some of these demos at our booth here at the festival. One use case, though, which is getting traction over 5G is the fixed wireless access. So basically, the opportunity for the CSPs to offer the homes high-end broadband services and TV services is making business sense. And it is actually a good alternative to where fiber is not available today. So to sum up, we've seen a really strong growth in terms of 4G adoption. We see a huge potential for continued growth, and the focus for the near term needs to be continuing in terms of serving the populations and businesses with 4G while we pave the way for 5G moving on. And this will enable these limitless possibilities for both innovation and digitalization. So for us, we believe that investing in modern and energy-efficient mobile broadband networks is a proven and a powerful engine to drive sustainable growth. Thank you very much.